my journey with trying to create high quality artist, archival quality prints and reproductions of my original artwork has been quite the journey and a little bit frustrating at times. There have definitely been some ups and downs, and today I wanted to tell you my experience with that. However, before I jump into that, I do have some really exciting news that I want to share with you, and I don't want to forget or run out of time. So really quickly, tomorrow I leave for Italy, and I'm super excited about it. I'm hoping to have this video up and published before my trip, so let's try to get this done ASAP. When I get back, I'm super excited because I'm going to share my whole trip with you guys, and I'm hoping to get some serious creative inspiration while I'm there and be able to come home feeling refreshed and renewed and inspired and ready to create some awesome artwork. So anyways, let's jump into this video. When I started trying to sell my artwork professionally and try to make money from my artwork, I immediately thought of making and selling prints. I didn't know at the time just how difficult it could possibly be or how much would actually go into making high quality artist prints. It's not as simple as photographing or scanning my artwork and then printing the prints off on my at-home printer. It's not like that. In order for my prints to look as high quality and correct in all the individual colors as they can, and so that they totally match the original, I have to photograph or scan the artwork, upload it into Photoshop, and then edit those files so that the colors match the original perfectly. But then came the actual printing part. Most at-home printers are not capable of making perfect matches. And what I mean by that is you spend all this time editing the files on your computer, and then you go and print them off, and the colors just do not look the same as your perfectly edited file on your computer. And that was really frustrating, so I looked into getting a professional quality printer that I could start printing my prints on. I had been on YouTube and I had seen quite a few other artists making their own prints, and at the time the cost of the printers for me was just astronomical. I couldn't justify doing it. And so I started looking into other options. One of those options was a local print shop. Now, this was back in 2015 when I lived in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, which is a tiny mountain ski town. And at the time, there was only one print shop that was local. And I went and talked to them for a bit. But the cost of getting the prints made seemed like a lot to me. I was trying to weigh quality versus cost for me as well as my customers. And at the time, I just couldn't justify it because I would have had to have bought either a whole lot of prints to get the bulk price and ended up having all this inventory that I wouldn't have known what to do with, or I would have had to buy singular prints as they sold for way more money than I thought I could sell them for. I was new to selling prints and I just didn't know how fast I would be able to sell them, and I just felt a little lost and dead in the water a little bit. So I started looking at print-on-demand websites as another alternative because I had been onto YouTube and done my research, and a bunch of artists were using those sites as well. And so I started looking into those and I just decided to jump. I decided to go with Printful, and I've been using them ever since. And they do a really good job. I mean, it saves a lot of time and energy because you upload the file, you connect them to your shop, and then as people are making orders through your shop, it alerts them to print that print and then they do all the shipping and everything for you. But over time, I guess I've gotten a little picky with the quality. And also, the more prints that I sell, the more I've learned, and the longer I do this, the more I learn. And also, as an artist, I am very naturally picky about the visual quality and the archival quality of my artwork. I started getting a little frustrated with it, and I had ordered samples, and every time they came in, it was a little lackluster to me. They weren't bad, but they weren't great, and I wasn't super ecstatic about them. Because I now live in the Portland, Oregon, Vancouver, Washington area, there are a ton of local print shops that I could use. And so I started scouting around and looking around for possible print shops to use. I found this one local print shop, and I took in 12 paintings that I've been struggling with. I looked at all the prices for prints, and now with my wiser mind and all the information that I've learned over the course of the last handful of years, I can now say that I can justify the price. And also, higher quality prints, I feel better about raising the prices for them because my customers are getting a better product. And also, at this point in my life, I realized at the time I was being overly sensitive about the price. I was very young, and I was justifying all the prices through my financial lens. So I didn't have any money. And so I was pricing everything as if the rest of the world didn't have any money either. So the cheaper the better was my mindset. And I just realized that people don't mind paying, a little bit of money for a quality item. But cool, I want to show you. This is exciting. Okay, so I went in for my first meeting with them, and that's when I dropped off the artwork and I said, I'm just struggling to color correct these properly. I would love it if you guys would do it. There's 12 paintings here that I really need to get online so I can sell and put out into the world. And so I dropped them off, and they said, fine, we'll call you in 3 to 5 business days. 3 to 5 business days to edit and color correct 12 paintings? That would take me ages because I'm not a professional in color correcting. I'm an artist. I'm a painter. So anyways, I got it back, and I went in to pick up the prints, and I had ordered a color proof of the prints. And this is the color proof that I got back. At the time, I wasn't super thrilled with the quality of the paper. It's not bad paper at all. But in my mind, it feels I'm being harsh. Paper's fine. I'm going to move on. But the colors weren't totally correct. I wasn't thrilled about some of them. They needed to be different hues. A little bit greener, a little pinker, all of that. But while I was in there, I learned that each time you color correct one of these paintings, you have to color correct it based on the surface you're going to be printing on, which totally makes sense in my mind because I'm like, yeah, if you're printing on wood or something like that, obviously you're going to need to color correct it differently than if you're painting on, white paper. Wood's darker, and it's going to cause the color to do something different than white paper would. But I didn't realize that each individual paper would even need to be color corrected differently. So anyways, that's fine. So when he was like, well, if you're not thrilled about this paper, here's a couple of other types of paper that we can look at. And I saw these and drool. Totally excited about this. because here's the first one. It's like, I don't know if you can see the textures here, but it's like watercolor paper. It's so awesome. So all of my original watercolors, I can get printed on this, and it's fantastic. I like it. It's a solid paper. I don't know if you can hear the texture, but woo, that is nice. And it just looks like a higher quality print to me. It gives a more natural, original feel to these prints, in my opinion. Next kind of paper that I chose, because I had to stop it too, because this was going to get really expensive really quick if I didn't stop. Because again, they have to recolor correct. But canvas paper! I'm so excited! It's so nice. Couple things I really like about this. First thing that I like about this is if the paintings were originally painted on canvas and I use like a thinner layer of paint, and because of that, the texture of the canvas shows through in the paint a little bit. When it's printed on canvas, or even this watercolor paper, it actually looks a lot better than on the smooth paper. But if you can see the texture of the canvas in the file, in the actual image, once it's printed, it just looks natural. It looks like it's just part of the paper. It doesn't look odd or fake or strange somehow. And so I went with this paper. I went with the watercolor paper. I can go between all the different types, but I'm just really excited about this. I feel like I have creative control. I feel as though I'm finally getting to a point where I can offer high quality prints. High quality prints is all I want so bad. Prints that I can be proud of. Prints that people get in the mail and they're just drooling over them the way that I hope they will. Also, a nice thing is whenever I ship out my artwork, I put my branding material in there. I put stickers on the boxes and business cards and things like that. And with the print-on-demand websites, they print it, they put it in a box, and they ship it. And I never see it, which has been nice for the ease that an order comes in and I don't have to do anything. It's just printed and shipped. But I do like the amount of control that I have. Am I sounding like a control freak right now? Probably, but that's all right. Quality is what I care about. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a little bit of insight into what I've been doing, and I'm about to take all of the prints off of my Etsy and all my other shops, and we're gonna do a print makeover. Don't be surprised if you go to my shops, either on Etsy or by going to artworkbypayden.com and seeing that there are no prints anymore. But check back in a little bit. After I get back from Italy, I'm going to revamp and completely redo my prints online. So if you would like any of the prints that I have on there currently, or any of these, they will be available on my website. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you when I get back from Italy. In the meantime, check out my Instagram, which is @artworkbypayden. Oh, and I also have a fantastic new newsletter that I'm coming out with, which is full of inspiration and just little tidbits that I come across that I find fascinating and fun and super creative. I'm not going to spam you though, and so yeah, I hope you guys have a creative rest of your day and a beautiful rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.